watching WBIR TV, Channel 10, Knoxville. The news starts now.
At least 3 people are dead after severe storms swept through Tennessee tonight. 2 of those deaths happened in the small community of Rennie in Cumberland County, along with 5 injuries.
Those storms also damaged 50 homes and trapped people beneath the rubble. We are live tonight as that small town copes with the loss and works to recover.
We're about half a mile to a mile from the most severe damage. I want to bring Jennifer Meckles in. There are a lot of barricades, a lot of the roads are closed off, but you were actually escorted into one neighborhood, and it was pretty devastating what you saw.
It was very devastating. This entire area, there's really only one word to describe it, and that is, it's just chaos. But the sheriff's office did allow me to go in and take a look at the worst part of this damage, and we've got some video we can show you of that. We took up a little country road to the back part of this neighborhood, and that's where we found houses with just blown off of their foundations. It looked like your typical tornado damage in the sense of mattresses, pieces of the home, wood everywhere. For those who've never been in a tornado zone, the smell of wood is very strong. You feel like you're in, it's just a woods is what it really is. And so very bad damage. And then we've also got some video of as crews were evacuating folks from some of those homes, they were going in and rescuing. There were children. We saw some children being carried by adults, some of them still in their nightgown type, just wrapped in blankets. Very, very tough stuff.
Hey, good morning, Russell. Yeah, it's definitely been, as we kind of have lights on this area, this has become where I'm standing now, kind of several different media outlets from Nashville and Knoxville all converged in kind of this one area because of this building behind us. This is one of the first things you see now, or you can see, because the power, most of it is not on in this community. Take a look at some video from overnight, though. As our crews got here, the sun was down. They were able to see at least some of the destruction. In total, we're told so far, 7 homes were completely destroyed. More than 50 homes and businesses heavily damaged, and 2 people did lose their lives. More than 4 or 5 were taken to an area hospital, a couple with some severe injuries. We did speak, though, with the sheriff last night. Here now what he had to say about the suspected tornado.
This is really traumatic because that was their friends and neighbors. They don't know who was injured, how bad they were injured, things such as that. And it's just a really bad situation all the way around for them. So we just go about doing our job, and if they need help, we're there for them.
Good evening, guys. I tell you what, last night it was hard to determine the severity of the damage. Today it is clear and it is devastating. We're told the path of destruction is at least 3 miles, 7 homes completely destroyed, dozens others with some type of damage. In addition to families being back on their property today and beginning the daunting task of surveying the damage and collecting your belongings.
This is a 40 by 60 garage that has all of our classic cars.
Bunny Howe and her family lived to race cars, but Wednesday night, she was in a race for her family's life.
Listen to the warning. They said that it was coming towards Rennie. I heard it, and I was watching for them, my husband and my son, to get here. We have 2 grandchildren, and I grabbed them and our dogs, put them in an interior bathroom when it just felt funny. And I was so scared that my husband was going to be in it, so, because I had called and told him, don't come, just stay away.
Then a twister packed with unimaginable horsepower throttled Howe's property and her animals.
And it was coming towards me, and it sounded like a jet burst. The afterburner part of a jet truck is what it sounds like. And I watched it pick up my black horse, and it set him down right here. It picked up the other semi-trailer, and it picked up this truck, and I dove on top of my babies in the bathroom and held the door shut, and God wrapped his hands around me then. So I said to the babies, I said, let's just pray. When we said, dear Lord, Savior, please help us, his hands covered us.
When the storm was gone and the damage remained, Bunny's life was intact, and her family managed to miss the brunt of the storm.
We missed the storm by about 5 minutes. We hit the interstate when the tornado touched down. It was very scary. There's nothing like it until you see it for your own eyes.
And Bunny says her horse survived by the grace of God. What's your black horse's name?
Diablo, the devil. He set him down like it had picked him up in his hand. There's his hoof right here. He was dazed. He didn't know what to do. And then he took off out that way.
Now the racing community has raced to the Hal's aid, and they shift from the fear of a deadly storm to driving down the road of recovery.
But we're blessed. We're blessed because, see, we're alive.
What's next for you?
Life. To live life.
And I want to bring in Todd Howell. Todd, the people that lived the storm last night said it was a tornado, the strong winds. They felt sure that it was. And today, the National Weather Service has confirmed that indeed it was a tornado.
National Weather Service confirming it was not only a tornado, but an EF2 tornado with maximum sustained winds at 125 miles per hour with a path width of 250 yards and a path length of approximately 3 miles, possibly greater. Talked to Tom Johnstone with the National Weather Service office in Nashville, which covers Cumberland and Fentress counties because they're in the central time zone, and they're going back to compute that. But an EF2 tornado, of course, parts of Cumberland counties had to deal with tornadic storms in the past. 2003, 9 years ago, the Lake Tansy area, and of course in Mossy Grove. We're very concerned, and now looking at tomorrow night, there could be another severe weather outbreak. Now, when I say very concerned, anytime there's a threat for tornadoes, we're certainly concerned. Right. This storm tomorrow night could be widespread for much of the Tennessee Valley.
Not only were the storms devastating, they were also deadly, taking the lives of 2 females. I want to bring in Brittany Bailey at this time. She had a chance to talk with one of the families, actually the daughter of a mom who came in from out of town.
Yes, Carolyn Jones did not survive the storm last night. She was at home with her husband, Harold. They both tried to make it to the basement. They just didn't get there in time. Harold is in the hospital. He had to get 12 stitches in his head, according to his daughter, Sheila Skaggs, who, as you mentioned, lives in Florida. She drove here overnight only to arrive and find her parents' home destroyed.
The Jones home is simply a shell left more empty with the death of Carolyn Jones.
She never deserved this.
Sheila Skaggs is devastated, wondering how her father, Harold, who was married to his first and only love for more than 50 years, will cope.
I'm sure he thinks in some way he should have done something because he's always taken care of her.
And on the night of the tornado, Harold tried to take care of Carolyn one last time.
My dad had grabbed a flashlight off the kitchen bar and was headed down the basement steps, pulled the door behind him, and it just threw him to the bottom of the staircase. They were buried. He could hear my mom saying, "I can't move, I'm stuck." And she said it probably about 5 times, he said, and then he didn't hear her anymore.
Just a few houses away, Shannon Bice took cover too.
As soon as I walked in the bathroom, all I could do was I covered them up like this, and the ceiling caved in. And it was just like that. It just happened. They said it lasted 30 seconds.
She and 4 children made it out just barely.
I don't know how they made it out of there.
Not much else did. The children's rooms are destroyed. The roof is gone, the backyard a mess. But these photos and the people in them are safe.
It's devastating, but we're all alive, and I'm just very thankful. I'm just thankful we're okay.
You may have heard a dog barking just there. While all of the people made it out of Shannon Bice's home, one dog did not. She said their dog Grizzly had to be buried this morning.
Yeah, we're in basically the mouth, if you will, of a root ball. This is nearly a 10-foot root ball, just an example of the devastating damage. And basically that is all across much of the region. More trees uprooted up here to my right, and of course the house that was heavily damaged. And this was just one example of the power of those EF2 tornado winds that maximized at 125 miles per hour. We will continue to see the threat for severe weather building our way later on tomorrow night. It is a moderate risk that will include right here on the Cumberland Plateau. We're certainly going to keep you updated, and very changeable weather is coming. This same area could experience a light snowfall Sunday night after seeing more severe weather later on tomorrow. We're going to keep you updated. No weather problems tonight. Severe weather moving in late tomorrow and tomorrow night.
After losing neighbors, homes, and their possessions, the possibility of more severe weather has residents in Rennie on edge tonight.
10 News reporter Steve Butera joins us live from what is left of one resident's home there. Steve, many people there spend the day looking for another place to stay.
Yeah, Robin and John. In fact, a lot of people have been trying to do that throughout the day. I am standing right now here at a kitchen, or in this case, what was a kitchen at one time. Yeah, we're still seeing some things remain, like a sink here, but a lot of things are either broken or just plain gone here. That used to be a microwave, or what was over there at one time. You're supposed to be having a refrigerator here. That's gone. All you have left is a whole bunch of debris and no roof.
That's it. This is a tornado and we're crazy.
I guess, are y'all prepared for the next round of storms, which are right now lining up north and west of Chattanooga and heading in shortly?
Yes, sir. We're taking preparations this time. We've got several fire and EMS units, a lot of reserve units for the sheriff's office, the highway patrol. It's got the strike team deployed in McMinn County. And we're just trying to get this area cleared up just to make sure we don't have any other injuries at this time, and so we can get ready for this next round.
10 News reporter Eleanor Beck is in Tellico Plains now. She joins us with the very latest. Eleanor.
We are at the Tellico Plains Junior High School, where everybody who was over at the command center just up the road was recently evacuated, kind of hunkering down here until the next bout of bad weather passes. I just spoke with Sheriff Bivens. He was telling me about the damage from the earlier storms, which he called extensive. He says downtown Tellico right now has no power, and it's completely shut down. They've blocked off 68 going towards downtown. And Bivens says he's encouraging everybody to stay at home if they're not already at this shelter. They have set it up to offer some food and snacks. Take a look around me. There are tons of folks here, not only folks, but their pets as well, so people are probably preparing for a long stay. We did get a chance to check out some of the damage from earlier in the day. As I said, downtown Tellico is pretty much shut down. Massive trees falling on houses, lots of damage to homes, roofs caved in. I even saw one house that had kind of shifted on its foundation. But so far, Sheriff Bivens says the 5 confirmed injuries are only minor.
10 News reporter Jim Matheny joins us. And Jim, the thought of yet another tornado just adds insult to injury for Rennie.
Yeah, those folks over there, so far, they've managed to dodge the worst of the weather in Cumberland County, and people are racing to get as much done before this next round of storms comes in.
Trying to get all the food out of here, frozen food, so before it starts stinking and bringing animals up here.
Paul Vickers sifts through the remains of his roofless home to salvage anything he can. But his most precious possessions are already saved.
Listen, I got my kids and family, so it really ain't that much here. I'm just trying to get it cleaned up.
But Friday afternoon, Vickers did not have his kids or his wife by his side as he races to save as much as possible before a second round of severe storms tears through Tennessee.
So I have my kids. They didn't want to be here when they heard the storms were coming.
Utility and cable providers work furiously to restore service during the storm's intermission and wonder if all of their current efforts are futile.
We're just kind of dreading what's coming on, but we know there's more work coming on.
And about a quarter mile down the road, farmer Dallas Cox tries to mend fences to keep his cattle corralled.
What I've got to do now is get some trees cleared out to where I can get to the fence.
Yeah, the dog's bowl.
Vickers saved several items from the oncoming storms, but he has no plans to linger around without a roof over his head.
And once they do, I'm out of here. I'm out of here as soon as they start hitting.
Now, in that video, you saw Vickers and some other neighbors putting their belongings in storage pods. Robin and John, those were actually donated by Central Storage in Crossville, so the community there really pulling together to try to help everyone get through this last storm and also another round of severe weather.
Families are grateful they survived what had the potential to be a deadly storm.
That's my garage door.
A metal garage door dangling in the wind is a sign of Mother Nature's fury.
It just comes so quick. I mean, there was no warning. There was a little bit of hail on the windows, a big gush of wind, and it was just horrible.
But horror is what Amy Ayers and her family experienced Friday night when a possible tornado nearly leveled their Harrogate home.
By the time we started down the hallway, the whole front of the house was done gone. Right there. We got 2 daughters right there on the floor, and then we laid on top of them.
The storm left the family with only minor injuries. A friend got slammed into this wall, creating a head-sized hole. Amy suffered a broken foot.
Wait till I'm out of here, guys. Don't get my leg.
But that's not keeping her from salvaging what she can.
The clothes, any type of memories that I could, save. Everything in here is replaceable, but my family's not.
The Ayers family lives in the Shawnee community, where at least 10 other homes are also destroyed. More than 24 are damaged. Saturday's sunshine put a light on the destruction.
We have trees down, we have power lines down, we have roads with trees over them. I mean, it's just a disaster.
Emergency Management Agency Captain Joseph Stacy says crews are working around the clock to clear debris. More than $250,000 worth of cable phone lines have been damaged. Hundreds are without power and communications, and some neighbors from other parts of town are clogging access to the danger zone.
It hasn't even been 24 hours since the storms came through here. Lots of people still out looking around at the damage. The Ayers family says they plan to rebuild, but they know it's going to take months, if not even an entire year, to get their home back. The same goes for all of the other houses destroyed in this neighborhood.
Now they're facing two fights. Last month, Amy's husband, DJ, was diagnosed with cancer.
I'm just thankful we got out.
The Ayers family and the community know they are lucky to be alive after surviving a severe storm.
When they give the warnings, don't hesitate.
In Harrogate, Hillary Lake, 10 News.
Roads leading into the Parkview subdivision in Harrogate are closed indefinitely to everyone except local traffic. The Claiborne County Sheriff says drivers who don't belong there and try to go through will be ticketed starting tomorrow. They want non-residents to stay out of the area so crews can continue their work. And officials say it could be a few days before services are restored. Tellico Plains took a direct hit as well. The National Weather Service hasn't confirmed a tornado touched down, but a 10 News street crew video uploaded to YouTube shows what appear to be funnel clouds. Officials counted 60 homes damaged. They say about half of those suffered major damage. The storm hit around 1:30 Friday afternoon. Multiple tornado warnings throughout the day prevented residents from cleaning up until today. Despite the intense damage, only a few people suffered minor injuries there. 10 News reporter Mary Scott shows us how residents survived the storm.
I was devastated and heartbroken.
With damage like this, the mayor of Tellico Plains cannot believe every resident made it out okay.
If there's any positive at all in this, is there were no fatalities.
Especially if you were inside this mobile home when a suspected tornado hit. Glenda Evans was. She was sitting in her recliner.
And I looked out the window and I seen something, then just like 1, 2, 3 was on top of me.
Winds pulled her mobile home off its foundation, twisted it in the air, and slammed it into a neighbor's home.
It's awful, terrible. Especially to lose everything you got.
We met her when she saw it for the first time since she crawled out.
Yeah, this was the recliner I was in.
She only has scrapes and bruises. Others in town heard the warning and had time to take shelter.
Here at what used to be a TDS Telecom warehouse, 4 employees got down here in this grease pit, and they're certainly glad they did.
We had been in the pit approximately a minute, and the doors started shaking, and I thought it was hail hitting the building, but it was debris. And then the next minute, the building was gone.
A couple of blocks over, owners of the bakery Tellico Grains were happy they settled in an old bank. They hunkered down inside the bank's vault.
Kind of always jokes about it, but we never thought that it would happen. So this is our safe haven, and it worked this time.
We just feel blessed to be here.
My mom's buried over on the hill like this. She was looking over me.
After thanking their blessings, the town all pitched in to help clean up.
We all work together, we get things done, and we all help out.
Mary Scott reporting. Power has been restored to many parts of the Tellico Plains area, but the telephone company you saw there is still without service to many people due to traffic congestion. They are also keeping roads in the downtown closed to anyone who is not a resident. Just a few miles west of that damage, it's a similar situation in Etowah. Crews spent the morning clearing debris from roads and homes. This is along County Road 850. Homeowners spent the day combing through belongings, looking to salvage what they can. We talked to one woman who wasn't home when the storms rolled through, but part of her family was.
I didn't know what to think. I just looked. And I had a dog that was here in the front yard that was on a chain. and he was okay, but his doghouse, we don't know where it went. He was just so happy to see somebody he knew.
Friday night brought a second round of storms for folks in the Crossville area, sending many with damaged homes scrambling to get tarps on roofs before the bad weather moved in. 10 News reporter Eleanor Beck visited one church in Cumberland County today to see how they're coping. She joins us now from the Information Center with more. Eleanor?
Wednesday's EF2 tornado went from home to home along about a mile-long stretch, demolishing buildings and taking the lives of 2 neighbors in the small, tight-knit community of Rennie. And this afternoon, neighbors took time to help neighbors.
You done good.
Soaking up the warmth of the kitchen in Iselene Baptist Church.
Food, friendship, love.
It's almost possible to forget what's happened.
It's terrible. It's heartbreaking.
Wednesday's storms demolished much of this Cumberland County neighborhood. Then Friday night, weather threatened again. Church member Lucy Bailey says nervous neighbors took cover at Iselene Baptist.
They could come here, and there was lots of us here, so they had somebody to talk to and, you know, get to think about something else other than the storm.
The doors have hardly closed since.
We started Thursday, and we've been going ever since.
Cranking out sandwiches, keeping the coffee pot hot, energizing the storm-weary community and the volunteers that came to help.
A lot of damage in a small vicinity, but it's mass damage.
Second Baptist Church disaster relief volunteers headed out Saturday to help cut down trees and get tarps on roofs.
You run into the sadness of people just still in shock. You just have to look to another day, to a better day, and gain strength from Jesus Christ.
Devastation like this left many shocked, but Bailey says the community's response is no surprise.
It's kind of always been this way. But I think that you don't realize until something really happens how much people do care.
And the ladies of Iselene Baptist will also be cooking up lunch for those volunteers and the others affected by the storm tomorrow after church. Sean?
All right, Eleanor, thanks so much.
The heavy lifting is far from over here in Cumberland County, 1 week after an EF2 tornado ripped through the Rennie community. And much of that heavy lifting is with heavy hearts.
All of it's unbelievable. You don't think it'll happen to you, but then it does.
The shock has still not worn off for Renee Pyle as she stands in the rubble of her mother's home.
They said it come out of nowhere and it just hit.
Hit with a powerful tornado that sent her stepfather to the hospital and her mother, Melissa Evans, to her grave.
I just was thankful that my mom, she was the hero. She jumped on top of all of them to save them. And if it wouldn't have been for her, they'd all be gone.
Instead, it is the house that is gone, blown right off its foundation and scattered into pieces that will take days to pick up and much longer to understand.
We're hanging in there because she would want us to be strong for her.